What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View, here to do a wrestling video. I haven't done a wrestling topic video in a long time, and I felt like talking about WrestleMania. I am going to WrestleMania 33, and I've been looking at a lot of the rumored cards. Basically, every couple of days, I'm trying to keep up with what the WWE is planning on doing at WrestleMania 33, because I'm really invested into it. I'm not only going to the show, I'm going for the full weekend, WrestleMania 33, the Hall of Fame, the works, everything. So I'm really invested into what they're trying to do on this card. Now we have a couple of matches. I'm basically going to talk about all the matches and just what I think about them and where I think they're going to go with the matches. But there are a couple of matches here that are already confirmed. Of course, we have Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Now the question is whether that's going to be for the WWE Universal title or not. I'll talk about that in just a second. There's also the Big Show versus Shaq, which has basically been confirmed for an entire year. So that's also one of the matches that's going to be at WrestleMania. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal is pretty much confirmed to be on the show as well on the main card. So they're trying to make room for that on the main card. So those are three matches that are pretty much set in stone, along with the Randy Orton facing the WWE Champion match that is happening, because he did win the Royal Rumble, so he has the opportunity to challenge for a title. So it's Randy Orton, it's Goldberg Lesnar, it's Big Show Shaq, and it's Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Now, they have the rest of the matches that are open to your imagination and open to Vince's imagination, to be honest. So let's start off with the already confirmed matches. My thoughts on those are Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. Now, what I think is going to happen there is that Goldberg is going to win the championship from Kevin Owens at Fastlane. So after Fastlane, it's going to end up being Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. I do like this. Now, some people might not like this because I just feel like Kevin Owens, first off, he's stale as the champion. I'm not a huge fan of him as the champion. I prefer him in the mid-card. I just don't think he's really one of the guys. He's not a guy that I would push to be a top star on your show, and he's so far, even though the writing has not been the best, lived up not to be one of your top guys. So therefore, I would put him in the mid card with probably the United States Championship against Chris Jericho. I think it's finally time to have that Chris Jericho match. That seems where they're going to be going. With the rumored card, it says Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. It doesn't say that it's for the United States Championship yet, but it most likely will be. If they have another United States Championship match, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because I think you need to maintain the United States Championship as something that is still looked at as a top title. If it's Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho battling for the United States title, it's still a program that a lot of fans will be interested in. A lot of fans have been interested in this rivalry for the longest time. They have been, the tension has really been rising over the past few months. It's really been played out, and I think a lot of people are starting to get tired of the whole Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho best friend thing. I think it's about time to turn one of these guys on each other and have a United States Championship match. That being said, we go back to Goldberg and Brock Lesnar. That is going to be the Universal Championship match, which I like. Look, it's their biggest match. I think they need to make the most money they possibly can. And with the Universal Championship being on the line, it's even more intriguing. Most likely, you would see Brock Lesnar coming out with the championship. You give Goldberg a little bit of his run till WrestleMania. You finally have Brock Lesnar beat Goldberg at WrestleMania, and you have the reestablishment of Brock Lesnar. So I think that's the way that they'll go with that, and the Universal Championship will be a big, big deal. I don't think anybody else really on the Raw roster deserves to hold that championship at this moment. I think it has to go to one of these part-timer guys, because they're the only people that actually deserve to hold it. They're the only guys that are actually big enough names to hold that title. So for me, I'm going to have Goldberg, Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. That's looking what it's going to be like after Goldberg beats Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho will be for the United States Championship. The other confirmed match is Big Show Shaq. I think that's a fun match. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun to watch in the arena. I think the fan involvement will be very fun. No, it's not going to be a technical classic, but I'm not expecting it to. I'm just expecting to have fun watching it. I like the Big Show. I mean, I've watched him all my life, and he's an awesome wrestler. In terms of, I just really like his personality and everything. Shaq is a legend. Of course, I'm a Lakers fan as well, so Lakers fan plus Shaq versus Big Show. It's going to be fun to watch. Shaq's a good personality. I'm interested to see what they do for the build-up of the match, though. That might be the more intriguing part than the actual match itself, because it was fun, because I was also at WrestleMania 32 to see Shaq come out in the Battle Royal. So it's going to be kind of a full circle from that event at WrestleMania 32, and to see it go down at 33 will be fun. The Battle Royal. Now, my proposal for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal is to have the winner of last year defend his title. The winner of last year was Baron Corbin, and I think the way that you can build this matchup is by having Baron Corbin defending his honor against Braun Strowman, basically. I think this will be the main feud going into the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That is how I would book it as. There's everybody else in the Battle Royal. Sure, there's a bunch of guys. Maybe you play into maybe a Sami Zayn or one of these underdogs that could potentially win the Battle Royal. Maybe Sami Zayn is the guy that wins it because Corbin and Strowman are so heavily involved. But, you know, you have Corbin and Strowman, who are these two guys that are just total beasts. And this is the Raw versus SmackDown Beast versus Beast storyline. Who is the bigger monster on each show? And I think that they really need to build up the Battle Royal as an interpromotional match where you can gain bragging rights for your show if you win. So I think the way I would book it is probably have Braun Strowman beat Corbin at the end of it. In some way that doesn't make Corbin necessarily look bad, but it just makes Strowman look that much stronger because you are trying to build up Strowman as this monster. And I really think SmackDown has been really effective with the way they've been building up Baron Corbin. I also have been involved, really liking what they're doing with Strowman on Raw for the most part. I don't really like Raw, as we know if you watch the Raw reviews. I don't like it at all. I think it sucks. SmackDown I do like to a certain degree. I think it's gone up and down, but it's stayed pretty decent. Corbin has been a good part of that show. Strowman has been a good part of Raw. I think you make this a feud for the Battle Royal, and you just see how it goes. I think that's how you have to build up a Battle Royal. You can't just say, okay, there's going to be 30 guys or whatever in this match, and they're just going to throw each other out. You have to actually make a story and create a story around it so people are intrigued by who's actually going to win this match. Make it feel like it's a big award to win this match and a big deal. So for me, Corbin, Strowman, make that the main feud of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Now, this is an interesting match. What are they going to do with The Undertaker? Is The Undertaker going to participate in WrestleMania? Initially, I wanted to see John Cena versus Undertaker. I think that would have made a ton of money. I still think that to this day. Maybe they'll do that next year if Undertaker is still wrestling. The problem is, will Undertaker still be wrestling? Is he still participating in this WrestleMania? Or has he been taken off the card? Now, the rumor is still that Roman Reigns will face The Undertaker because of what happened at the Royal Rumble, and I'm for that to a certain degree. I think The Undertaker needs to retire pretty soon because he was beat up at the Royal Rumble at basically doing like 3 spots in the match. So we need to see Roman Reigns and Undertaker in some way of an intriguing storyline. I think this is when Roman Reigns needs to turn heel. He needs to turn heel. The guy is being booed out of the building. You're not going to force people to love this guy. It's just not working. You need to adapt. You need to listen to the crowd, and you need to turn him heel. I think he'd be a very badass heel. He obviously has the look. He has the athleticism. He has the personality where he could make people hate him even more. So I think that you need to turn Roman Reigns heel, and who better to turn him heel against than The Undertaker? And I really wouldn't mind Roman Reigns as a heel, as champion. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see Roman Reigns as a face as champion because nobody likes him. So for me, I want to see Roman Reigns back in the main event, but the only way to do that is to see him as the heel. He is superhuman Roman right now. He needs to be superhuman heel Roman going forward. So Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker, I'm fine with it. I think it would be a good match. But I'm seriously doubting The Undertaker's health, and I'm also seriously doubting Roman Reigns as a face. Then let's go to the WWE Championship. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton. That is the rumored match. I think that is very logical. Ever since they won the Royal Rumble, that looked like the direction they were going to go. John Cena currently holds the WWE Championship going into the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber is this Sunday. So I think that Bray Wyatt will take that title to WrestleMania, and you'll have rather a Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton match or a Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton versus Luke Harper match. I think you need to find a way to also involve Luke Harper in this match. Maybe at the end of the day, Luke Harper always looked like he was pissed off at Bray Wyatt, but maybe Bray Wyatt was playing Randy Orton, and in the end, Luke Harper helps Bray Wyatt to win this match at WrestleMania and maintain the title. I think this is going to probably be my favorite and most anticipated match on the WrestleMania card because I'm a huge fan of Bray Wyatt. I'm also a big fan of Randy Orton, having met him last year at WrestleMania Access. So I think it's going to be a very intriguing match. I think this might be the best storyline heading into WrestleMania, and I'm really looking forward to the SmackDowns, the build-up, and the match at WrestleMania. I think you can do so many intriguing things with Bray Wyatt, so many intriguing things with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt's story that it's going to be very compelling to watch. The next match that I'm going to go to is the Raw Women's Championship. This is a match that is rumored Charlotte versus Bayley versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax. I'm not a huge fan of the Fatal 4-Way. I would prefer to see just Charlotte versus Bayley. It's not really from a match perspective. I think they can get it done from a match in-ring perspective, but from a feud perspective, I'd rather see Charlotte versus Bayley and Bayley finally taking the title at WrestleMania. I'm not intrigued with what they're doing with Sasha Banks. I'm not intrigued with what they're doing with Nia Jax. Nia Jax's theme song is absolutely horrendous. Sasha Banks is currently being buried right now with her injury. But I think that Bayley needs to come out with the title at WrestleMania. Now, I'm not a huge fan of Bayley. I think she cuts pretty poor promos. I think she's a little too directed towards the children in the audience. And I know that's what they're trying to intend to do. But it's just, I'm not a huge fan of the whole Bayley thing. But a lot of people do like Bayley. So that being said, I think she should win the title over Charlotte and give Charlotte her first defeat at a pay-per-view, because she hasn't had a pay-per-view loss yet. You build her up to such this mystique going into WrestleMania that she cannot be beat at a pay-per-view, similar to the way that Undertaker was built up. And you have Charlotte lose here, but you could still have Charlotte lose in a way at WrestleMania in a Fatal 4-Way match if they do intend to do that. That doesn't hurt Charlotte and kind of maintains her I have not lost in a singles match at a pay-per-view. Because if she loses in a Fatal 4-Way match, then she just loses. But if Bayley beats her in a one-on-one and pins her in the middle of the ring, you get an ultimate payoff for Bayley. And it does hurt Charlotte a little bit. But let's be honest, guys, these are fake wrestling matches. It doesn't hurt the character that much as long as you maintain the character. So to me, I don't really mind the Fatal 4-Way match. I would prefer to see the singles match. Let me know what you guys think about that. Next, we have Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. I already talked about. Also, Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Now, is this going to happen? Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Is this going to happen? Is Seth Rollins injured? He is injured. He has a MCL injury. He's supposed to be back in 8 weeks, which would put him back in time for WrestleMania, like right at WrestleMania. Or are they going to do something else? Now, I would really like to see Seth Rollins wrestle. He missed last WrestleMania. So that's kind of a downer, not only for him, but for the fans as well, for him to miss both WrestleManias. It kind of hurts his momentum, but you never know. This could be a blessing in disguise for Seth Rollins. You hate to see a guy get injured, but coming back even stronger after another knee injury to beat Triple H in a match would be very interesting. And you could also build this match up in a way where Seth Rollins is not even there for any of the build-up, but he just comes out to a big pop at WrestleMania, wins that match, and you start fresh with Seth Rollins as a face. That could be a big ideal moment for Seth Rollins moving forward. Or you could do a number of other matches if Seth Rollins cannot participate. You have, of course, the AJ Styles-Shane McMahon match that is rumored. You could vary this. You could rather have Shane McMahon versus Triple H. You could have Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles due to the affiliation with Triple H. You could do even just Joe versus AJ Styles in place of this match. Or you could do the combination of Shane versus Triple H and Joe versus AJ in place of Styles versus McMahon and Rollins versus Triple H. You could flip that to Shane versus Triple H and AJ versus Joe. You could do that. Or you could just have Joe versus AJ representing each guy, basically. You could have Triple H maybe shift his focus, or Joe shift his focus to AJ Styles because Seth Rollins is injured. You could do that. There's a number of different things that you could do. Maybe you could have Shane McMahon in a feud with Triple H because of the Raw versus SmackDown thing. They need to involve this more. I know I talked about it with the Battle Royal, but they need to have more intrigue in the brand split, the brand rivalry. They need more intrigue. So by having Joe versus AJ or a Shane versus Triple H or both matches, it makes the brand rivalry a real thing. So those are the main matches, along with, those are all the main matches that are rumored right now. Goldberg, Lesnar, Wyatt, Orton, Reigns, Taker, Rollins, Triple H, Owens, Jericho, the Raw Women's Championship, Big Show versus Shaq, and the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. The last rumored match that I'm going to discuss is John Cena and Nikki Bella versus The Miz and Maurice. This is a match where I'm not so sure I love it, but I don't exactly hate it. I've seen a lot of hate for this match. I don't mind it because Cena, first off, is not in a championship match, which I just don't think he should be at this point. I would rather see him face Taker. But there is something interesting about this feud. One, it helps The Miz. Two, I think they want to do something special for Nikki Bella's last match, which is fine, whatever. Three, I could see from a business approach that this helps their Total Divas, Bella's product. I can see that. But as a match itself, no, it won't be the most intriguing match. I think it could have a really, really good storyline. In terms of, it could have, the It couple storyline where Miz and Maurice have been parading around as the It couple on SmackDown, but are they really the It couple, or is the It couple Nikki Bella and John Cena? This also goes into the fact that Daniel Bryan is the brother-in-law of John Cena. You could have Daniel Bryan maybe even as the guest referee in this match with Miz and Maurice. You could do a total crazy gimmick match. That would be very interesting and very awesome to watch, just from an entertainment standpoint. You have the Miz and Maurice, who have been basically, the Miz especially, has been all over Daniel Bryan's injury. Daniel Bryan and him have been feuding. I would have really loved to see Daniel Bryan versus the Miz at WrestleMania. That would have been awesome. Maybe we will still get that one day, maybe next year. But Cena and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice is still somewhat of an intriguing mid-card match. You're putting Cena and the Miz in a mid-card that is really soft. So by putting two basically main eventers in the mid-card, it bolsters the card a little bit. None of these matches look soft, but none of them look fantastic. I don't look at this card and say, wow, there's one amazing match on this card, but I don't look at the card and say, wow, I'm not looking forward to one of these matches. So at the same time, you have many different scenarios for this card, and that's why I think the Cena and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice match is interesting, because from a storyline standpoint, it can make a lot of sense. So let's go to the other matches that I would propose for the card, because there's still quite a few titles that are left off the actual card itself. There's still the Intercontinental Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship, the Raw Tag Team title, and the Cruiserweight Championship that you need to fit on this card, and that includes the pre-show. So there's already like 10 matches on the card that are rumored. You need to put these other matches in those 5 hours that you're trying to fill. So the Intercontinental Championship, I'm really not sure. This is the one I'm not sure what they're going to do with. If you don't have Corbin enter the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, you have Corbin be against Dean Ambrose, potentially for the IC title. You could also have some sort of a ladder match like you usually do for the IC title. But I think what they're going to do is have Dean Ambrose defend it against somebody. I'm just not sure who, maybe Dolph Ziggler. But you have the Cruiserweight Championship that I think will be defended in the ladder match. It's rather going to be, in my opinion, what I would book is rather Neville versus Austin Aries or a 7-man ladder match for the Cruiserweight title. You could even have the Cruiserweight ladder match be a tournament beforehand so people are intrigued to see who's in the match. So from that tournament, you can spawn 7 members. You can have Neville as the champion. You could rather have Noam Dar, Gallagher, Kendrick, Tony Nese, and Cedric Alexander would be my other 5 guys. And then I would include a debut of rather Austin Aries or Kalisto in the Cruiserweight Championship ladder match. That's what I would do, and I'd probably have Neville maintain the championship because I think he needs to go over. But I'd rather have that singles match, or I'd have the ladder match. But I think like a ladder match is what the Cruiserweights were meant to do. They're not meant to wrestle these slow-paced matches. They're meant to do these high-flying spot moves, get the fans excited, get the fans pumped. That's what the Cruiserweights are for, and that's what I think they need to be utilized as at WrestleMania. The tag team championships are interesting. I can give a rat's ass about the Raw tag team titles. I really want to see Enzo and Cass win the titles at WrestleMania, and if they do, they'll get me back on board with this division. But you have Enzo and Cass, the New Day, the Club, Cesaro and Sheamus. None of these other tag teams intrigue me. The New Day is, I could care less. Maybe you give the New Day back the titles, and then you have Enzo and Cass versus New Day and put the Enzo and Cass over. Maybe you have New Day split up at WrestleMania in a fatal 4-way match. You could have Rusev and Jinder Mahal wrestle in this match. There's a lot of different things they can do with the tag team titles, but for now, I'm not very intrigued because none of them really have great characters. None of them really mean anything or have any purpose on the show. The only guys I'm actually excited for and looking forward to watching are Enzo and Cass. The SmackDown tag team titles are more intriguing because we have the potential debut of Revival at Elimination Chamber. So we could potentially see an American Alpha versus a Revival match for the SmackDown tag team titles at WrestleMania, which would be absolutely awesome to watch. The SmackDown Women's Championship, I also think they'll do another Fatal 4-Way. I would prefer to see Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss straight up for the title, having maybe Alexa turn on Mickie or Mickie turn on Alexa at some point. But you could do Mickie James versus Alexa Bliss versus Naomi versus Becky Lynch, which seems where they're going to go because they had that 2 double contract signing on SmackDown. It seems like they're trying to involve these 4. You could also throw maybe Natalya in the match because she needs something to do. But these 4 are the primary women on SmackDown. You also have Carmella, so maybe you even make it a 6-women match. You could also do Carmella versus Natalya. I have no idea. But there's a lot of different things that you can do here. But those are the rumored matches, and those are the matches that I would make for WrestleMania going forward. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have anything for me to discuss WWE related, make sure you comment below. It's Mitch of TheBottomLineView. If you enjoyed, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more wrestling. Peace out.